Hey everyone, and welcome back to the ZMAM show. Mike here as we are talking Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 3 tonight, called Humbug's Gulch. And, I am really trying so hard to stay enthused with this season, and it is really trying my patience, I have to be honest. I'm not exactly sure. There's parts of the story that I'm really I feel like I want to be invested in, and there's other ones where I'm just kind of like, I just don't know if I really care. But all the same, I'm trying to enjoy it. We want to still get these reviews out to you. So we're going to just talk some of the main events that happened. It's not going to take much to get through this episode. So let's just get straight to it, right? So we find that John and June and all the others are basically clearing all of those zombie intestine-style roadblocks that are basically kind of halting people from making their travels. Although not a big ordeal because they seem like they can be taken out pretty quickly. As they keep taking out each one of these, they're actually making marks on a map trying to show some kind of pattern, and over time it does start to show a pattern. It shows an actual perimeter, like almost a circular form of where they're trying to keep people out from coming to, or this or that. Again, still we're not fully understanding who are setting these kind of traps up. But basically, John and June are fired upon as they lose communication with Morgan and the others. They're out of walkie-talkie range. John and June drive to some town that's nearby called Humbug's Gulch, right? Just the name of the episode. And it appears John is familiar with this place. He's like, yeah, I think he said he used to perform, I guess, kind of like gun tricks, trick shots, and so forth at a place almost just like it. And there's a good chance that there could be weapons here, because remember, we've lost all of our weapons due to the plane crash, and then those mysterious peoples who we don't not sure yet have taken all of their weapons, so that really sucks for them at the moment. So it seems a dust storm is on the way. The gods favor John and June as they come across a locker full of guns, just as John had expected. Right, it was up in one of the buildings, and there were simple pistols in there, kind of 6-shooter style, even maybe 4-round, larger caliber, shotgun, double-barrel style, and maybe even a couple rifles. But nonetheless, they're still weapons, so that's a good thing, right? There was a pretty crappy lock on that. I mean, John was about to shoot it open with his pistol, his last round, in fact, because they had already gotten into a little bit of trouble. That seemed a little hokey. I mean, just the idea that she just took, she take a bobby pin, I think, from one of the tables, which I get it, some of the actresses or things like that. And she was able to pick it just like that. I'm like, wow, you guys really didn't give a shit about security, did you? Or who could get to your weapons? But I just think it would have just been all the better if he just would have shot it open and been like, oh, look, we wasted our last round, but look what we got in return. The bobby pin. I don't know. But hey, it seems June has some other skills, so good for her, right? The mysterious shooter ends up following John and June and opens fire on them once again as they're making their way out, as the dust storm is now increasing in strength and they get into it. John gets a nice miraculous shot off again with those trick shots. He nails the mysterious shooter, and as John goes to investigate and so forth, we find out it is our good old buddy Dwight. Dwighty boy, he is back. He is here now in Fear the Walking Dead, and he's made contact. So Dwight starts yelling at him, gun in John's face, trying to tell him where is she? Obviously looking for his wife, Sherry, and then he gets knocked out by June because he's just getting irate and crazy. So that's where it ends off right there. Obviously Dwight's still looking for his wife, no success. It's interesting, I thought, how John was so willing to forgive Dwight for what he had done, or basically shooting on them, and he could have killed one of them. It's definitely possible. How is he so easily forgiving? I just don't quite understand that. Maybe because it's just not my style, and I couldn't do that. But I'd want to, because I like Dwight and I know his story, but they don't, and he's just kind of being a total dickhead to him. So I don't know. Did you guys buy into that? I was just kind of like, wow, that was just really easy. And I know also why the show was kind of doing this, because it was also quickly building that trust between Dwight and June and John. It's kind of like, let's just shoot through the crap here. We don't need several episodes to try and build that trust. Let's just let's just have John be, hey, I'm just a good old boy just trying to help you out, and I want to help you. Maybe you can help me, and we'll work it out. Yeah, how often does that usually happen? But since Dwight is kind of on this newfound path to goodness, and obviously wants to find his wife, maybe we can try and buy into it. It's a little tough, I just have to say. So I put Dwight as getting kind of like a crash course on learning to trust once again, because we find out he's been searching for Sherry for over a year. So that's interesting enough. But she keeps leaving these notes, these messages with a little, I think it's the infinity sign. And so yeah, he's just been trying to follow her tracks, but they've started to go cold, right? So after a major shootout with the dead and a chance to leave with John and June, he runs to the other car. So he was hell-bent on getting to that vehicle that John and June were in, the one that he shot all to hell, and the tires out. And then he gets in there, he shuts the doors, and then he starts going through all the paperwork and stuff. And so he's looking for that message, that symbol from his wife to know that she's been there. So that's why he was so hell-bent on the car. That's why he was shooting at them. So, okay, that kind of starts coming together, trying to understand why he was so focused on trying to get to them and why he thought that maybe Sherry might have been with John and June at that. Maybe she's taken or held hostage. Who knows what. So we think that she may have actually been at that campground that was overrun with all the dead in the buildings and so forth. I think it took place in the last episode. It was nighttime and they were all there and it said, like, keep out and don't enter and so forth. But again, nobody was alive there, so where Sherry is now, who knows? I put, although trying to be a beautiful scene, I was just wondering, how is it that those walkers that were in the back of Dwight's car weren't able to finally start shimmying their way into that broken open window? I mean, again, I get the scene, what they're trying to build, but you could easily just left the window be, and just make it a little bit harder for them to get in. Pretty sure every other episode we'd ever seen with walkers surrounding cars, they're biting and clawing and just trying to get in any possible way, not to mention buildings. They do the same thing. So is this really believable? This is where this show's writing really starts to show in poor form. I hate nitpicking shows like this. I don't want to do that. I want to suspend my disbelief, and I just want to enjoy the ride. But I can't help these little stupid things that they keep doing in between. It's just really annoying more than anything, and it's really deducting points from my score for the show, which we're going to get to in just a few moments if you can hang to. So, again, that just didn't make a whole lot of sense. John kind of goes out after they talk, and they basically, June convinces, Dwight that it's worth for him to keep trying to find his wife, because it will happen. She's got to be out there, whatever. After the pep talk, John goes out guns blazing with his rifle and 6-shooter style, and just starts annihilating walkers. So pretty dang cool. I gotta admit, I thought that was a close call on June when those 2 walkers were coming up on her. She managed to kill, I think, one with a small little Derringer gun, but then the other one she has to headbutt. I could have swore I thought that the zombie was going to come back to life while John was off doing his thing with Dwight and maybe bite her or something. I'm glad it didn't, but all the same, it looked like it's a possibility for a setup. John basically gets through all of those bad ones. Dwight gets out, helps out a little bit, and they basically come back together. So, again, it was majorly entertaining. What did you guys think about the trick shot at the very, very end? Now, again, this was kind of the whole point of learning a little bit more about John and his style and what he's capable of, but he has Dwight hold that axe up, mind you, with the arm that he's been shot in. Is that possible? Maybe. I guess if you try hard enough. Puts off the bullet, and it ricochets into 2 like some Robin Hood bullshit. I mean, entertaining? Yeah, I give it that. Realistic? Hell no, probably not. I mean, those 2 ricochets could have gone anywhere, and anyways, it happened. Okay, so I'd love to know what you guys thought about that. Was it entertaining to you, or were you just kind of cheesy to the cheesiest all possible? And by the way, I do similar things in my show too, and not like a trick shot like that, but this is a much bigger budget, high paid cast. I wonder a little bit about it all. The other part of the story tonight was around Annie, Max, and Dylan. I'm going to pretty much rifle through this one pretty quick. I'm not invested in these kids. They're more annoying than anything. I just don't care. I just really don't. Basically, they're caught on the radio by Luciana and Alicia. For some reason, again, we're invested in trying to find these kids. I mean, I can help but ask myself why. They were little pains in the asses when they first found them. It's a miracle they're still alive the way they were fighting, unless you're trying to put on some kind of show. But they look pretty inept. They couldn't really handle it. I suppose maybe it's because Alicia thinks that those kids might help them find Althea, but I don't even think that. I think it's on some redemption for Alicia's part, after losing her mom and brother and so forth. I don't know. But Alicia manages to get her and a very wounded Luciana pretty much stranded on the road after their vehicle hit some kind of makeshift spike trap, pretty much, from some boards or whatever. So they're stuck on the road. Morgan is not far behind. Morgan actually does finally catch up with them, and Alicia gives a heartfelt speech to the kids over the walkie, trying to get them to respond and know that Alicia's there for them. They want to help them, but the kids never respond. But Alicia feels better about it. Morgan ends up showing up, and then they keep on driving onward. By the end of the episode, Morgan and the ladies have found the Gulch, and Morgan is able to reunite with Dwight. So, cool reuniting. Again, how did Morgan and them find the Gulch town? Was that by pure luck? Or did they finally get in range and maybe use the walkie-talkies? Maybe we just didn't see that. Oh, God. Dwight is able to lead our crew to an area that he hasn't been able to breach. And around that time, just when they're about to get cray-cray on all these, or a set of these zombies on this little blockade, Max comes in on the radio and says that they got her message and that they want to meet her at where they met them originally, which was at the truck stop. Immediately almost, I heard his voice and I was like, wow, this, like, I was like, oh, yeah, we got your message. I mean, it just sounded like BS, you know, and I'm just thinking, oh, this stinks to high heavens. I just don't trust these kids whatsoever. It's already nighttime, of course, this is all going down, and they come across their van, the kids' van, and it's like tied up in a bunch of those vine thingies. Vine intestines, I think they are. And they finally cut through some of them. They open up the door, and there's Dylan kind of tied up in the seat, covered in blood and so forth, looking very, very frightened. And then the next scene, we see those other two little shits, Annie and Max, the two older ones, and they're the ones stringing up those blockades with the zombies. They have like a system, and they're working out. She's like, "Do you think they bought it?" And he's like, "Yeah, definitely." And you know, hopefully we can get them to find whoever got their friend and just get the hell on. It sounds like their main. I don't know if they're trying to really betray them, but they just want to get them gone out of their life. But it just seems like this story. It seems piecemealed and a little chaotic right now. I'm not really understanding the motives from these people. I mean, it sounds like any of them just want them to leave, Morgan and Alicia and all them. But yet we still have these mysterious figures that took all their weapons and knocked out Althea. And then we have that scientist. I'm just like, man, this area is just all effed up. I'm all bits confused. And maybe that's the point. Meanwhile, we still got to deal with the issues back at the denim factory. Woo! I'm just... What's happening? Do you guys feel just as discombobulated as I am? I know I didn't say that right, but I mean, seriously, that's how I feel. I'm just like, what the hell's going on here with this show? So, yeah. So, again, to what end are these kids trying to betray and kind of fool Alicia and Morgan and all of them? You know, Alicia's really trying to help these kids. Is she about to learn a hard lesson once again? I don't know. Overall score for this, guys, I'm giving this one a 6.5. I thought it had some interesting elements. I thought it also had some poor writing elements, as I spoke to earlier. I'm going to continue the show because I just love everything zombies, and I really have to see where this is going to go. It's kind of like this train wreck, but not in a good way. Like that good train wreck you want to see it happen, you know, in a show, or, you know, like Chernobyl. Like, you kind of know what the end is going to be, but you got to keep watching. This one I'm going to keep trying. I hope you guys enjoyed this short review. Maybe you thought the episode was better than I did. If you did, please let me know. What was your score? What's your number? 1 to 10. What did you give this one? Because I'm telling you, I'm not fully bought in. There's, like I said, there's certain creepy elements I really want to learn more about, but is it enough to keep our attention? I guess time will tell. So, thanks everybody for coming out and watching the show. Make sure to check out our other content, my Dead Nightmare Zombie series. We have the Chernobyl reviews out there. Go out and start watching the episodes. Come out and see my reviews on each one. It's really cool. We had a cool fan base come in, talk from all the different countries over in Europe, also hear from perspectives from the US. It was just a good old time. So, anyways, with that said, I am Mike here with the ZMAM Show, and I will catch you at the next review. See you guys.